Studies, middle school and high school at Rio. And here are a few ways that we use the Smartboard to better enhance the student learning. One of the things we do is Quizlet Live, and so if I click on this button, students will all see the code and they'll enter it and they'll be in a competition with each other. But there are times where we might go to matching mode, and so the students can come up here and they can match and they try to beat a certain time, and the record's up there. So that's neat as it promotes competition with the students. Another activity that we'll do with maps is where students match the countries where they are, and they can do that with their computers too as we use the one-to-one initiative. But we'll also have it up here so students are modeling excellent work. Another activity is we'll analyze maps, and we do that a lot. We'll analyze ArcGIS satellite maps. We'll look at, in this case, we're looking at what happened in Nepal following the earthquake, what it looked like before and afterwards as we look at this type of map. We also have been doing some things with Google Maps, Google My Maps, and the 3D images as the students can kind of analyze what it would be like to be in this part of New York. And they can also take the angle where they go to the street view and actually see images from different years depending on how often the Google car comes. We'll also look at national parks, and there's many gateways into that. One is Google Tracks, where they can pick a place that Google has done, and this works really well as we do it with the class. So if we go to the Burj Khalifa, students can drop into this visual and place themselves in different parts of the Burj Khalifa, and that's a great activity. We'll also, right now we're doing a unit approaching the Civil War, and students can come up here and they can simulate different strategies and look at battles and how they would, how things changed throughout the war. We also will do, as I mentioned, Quizlets, but we'll do quizzes, and that's where students, they can go on their own pace, and students will see questions and they'll answer them out loud. They can do that on their computer, but they can also do it here. I think the best thing about the Smartboard has just been that it's a great visual for the students, and we can use so many tools within the technology to better enhance students. And there are great times where students can come up and manipulate the data, analyze things, and use the interactive tools.
Hello, my name is Mr. Jared. I teach kindergarten at Ryle Elementary School. I was here before the Smartboards and after we implemented the Smartboards, and the Smartboards totally changed the way that I deliver instruction for my kindergarten students. One of the ways that has changed the way I do instruction is even as far as when they come in the morning, my whole classroom management is different. They can do their own attendance and their own lunch count right on the Smartboard, and then I can just record the results right off of the Smartboard. Another thing that the Smartboard has allowed me to do is, instead of doing calendar the old-fashioned way on the wall, using a good old calendar where we put up the numbers and the days of the weeks and the years, I have created a Smartboard lesson where it has an interactive calendar, and the students can come up to the Smartboard and move the days of the weeks and keep track of the days in the month and the years, and so they can totally interact with it. Another thing that we do is we keep track of the weather, so every single day I can open up the same Smartboard lesson and track the weather over days and weeks and months, and then we compare it on graphs how the weather has changed, and then we make predictions how the weather will be tomorrow or in the future, or determining the season and how the weather is going to be. That's a very important factor with the Smartboard. Another thing that the Smartboard has worked for is the iPads that we have in our room. I can display what's on the iPad right onto the Smartboard. So when I'm trying to teach kids how to use certain apps, I can just display right on the Smartboard, and they can come up and interact with it too, and learn how to do it on the Smartboard before they're given their own iPad and able to do it independently. With our new math program, we've gotten Smartboard lessons that have been included with it. So every day that we do math in here, I open up the Smartboard lessons, and once again, the kids can come up to the Smartboard and interact with whatever objectives that we are learning in math. I can also upload the workbook pages right into the math lesson. So this also gives me another opportunity to see how the kids do on the actual workbook pages before they go do it independently. Another great addition to the Smartboard has been the addition with the document camera. So the document camera goes right into my computer, which then allows me to display it onto the Smartboard. So anytime we're doing writing projects or anytime I'm doing read alouds, I can just put it right underneath the document camera, and then the kids can view it right from the Smartboard and even interact with the writing or the worksheet or with the book, and we can draw and color and underline right onto the Smartboard. Another thing is I've done all our science and social studies lessons. I took them from all paper and pencil and put them right into a Smartboard lesson. So now, once again, the kids are interacting with the material on the Smartboard instead of doing paper and pencil stuff. It also gives the opportunity for kids to get up instead of staying seated 10, 15 minutes at a time. So I really like that. Another thing is, every 10, 15 minutes, kindergartners like to get up and move. So we use something called Gold Noodle, which is interactive movement videos, and I could display those right onto the Smartboard, and it gives a chance for the kindergartners to get their wiggles out before we go right back to our lesson. Another thing is just the writer's workshop. I've created graphic organizers. So every day that we change or edit the graphic organizers, I can just save it, and then the next day open them right back up and leave right where we left off. Just gives gives the kids another chance to use references and graphic organizers over a daily basis instead of just posting it on a wall and taking up the wall space. And usually once they're on the wall, they're really hard to change and edit. So to me, the biggest thing is it's just changed the way I teach. Everything used to be paper, pencil, worksheets, and now I can pretty much make all my lessons interactive using the Smartboard.
My name is Ashley Hagenow, and I'm currently a junior here at the Rio High School. And throughout my years here at Rio, the Smartboards have really helped me to increase my learning capacity by helping the learning in the classroom to be more interactive and visual. And I'm a very visual learner, so being able to see kind of how the teacher is working with things and then be able to translate that over into what we are learning has been a very helpful tool. I know especially here, we're in the chemistry room right now. Our chemistry teacher has been able to teach us so many more formulas and how things work in the science world through the Smartboard by creating presentations and being able to interact with the whole class on a technological basis. And it's really helped as well for all of the students to be able to actively participate in the classroom with what they are learning, and they have been a huge added benefit to our school here in Rio.